Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Subspace Developer Sync. Today, we'll be getting updates from the engineering team about what they've been working on in the last week and what they plan to focus on this week. We'll go ahead and get started with the core protocol team. Nazar.
Hello, everyone. Last week was a little bit less prolific than the week before that. The main changes were upgrade of the substrate with some relevant changes for us. And also there was a lot of work on the stream limiting for peer-to-peer, but it is a little bit stuck with upstream changes. We have still a discussion with them on GitHub, and we'll join the community call tomorrow. So we'll try to resolve that. It will allow us to basically utilize as much concurrency as we can on the peer-to-peer level without exceeding limits. Currently, it's not quite the case. So we'll continue working on that this week.
All right, Shamil.
Last week, I worked on the pool model for Cadence. We changed our pattern for networking pattern, and I finished that. And the next week, I will focus on just supporting this PR. It was a large PR, and I will fix comments from the team. That's it.
Rahul, how are things coming? I know you're still kind of onboarding, but
Yeah, so I'm still onboarding and doing the prep work for the upcoming consensus changes. Today, I have a meeting with Jeremiah to come up with the next steps. Also, I just started helping Nazar with some PRs and stuff, just to get my dev environment set up and get my feet wet. Yeah, that's it.
great. Lu Chang, how are domains coming?
Yeah, last week, most of the time was spent on debugging and fixing the problems discovered on Gemini 3A. And then to prepare the Gemini 3B. In the meanwhile, the codomain runtime upgrades, like support for the short term, is also implemented. Apart from that, a substrate PM, which already had been pending there for a month, is finally merged. That means we can build our custom Genesis block on the next substrate upgrade, which is a small optimization. For this week, the first focus is still the testnet Gemini 3B. And sadly, I already observed something unusual about the receipt submission on Gemini 3B. So I'll look into that and figure it out. Another thing is to overhaul the existing documents, on the spec exector, to align with the current implementation. Yeah.
Great. Ning, I've seen some PRs coming from you. How are things coming?
Right. This year, I mostly working on the domain first pool. There are some remain issue, and I had submitted PR for the first pool submission issue, and I am working on another one about the verification of the first pool, which is almost done. I think. Probably will submit a PR today. And while doing this, last week, I also find some possibility to refactoring the code, the domain client side, the code, and that will be my main focus this week. Yeah, that will be my update.
Great. Ved, how are you doing?
Hey everyone. Last week was not a lot of, it was a quite week on the coding side, but rather mostly focused on catching up with cross-chain message resources that Gemma and Path have been working, and also on the infrastructure side of it. There were some minor things to be done, and there was also finishing up some prep work for Gemini to be a day back. I had a call with Jeremy last week about the next steps on the messaging as well. Hopefully, we have something there to get started. In the meantime, I will try and support the infra side. There are some issues coming up with Hitzner. Hopefully, we could resolve that soon.
Great. Parth, how are you coming?
Yeah, so last week was mostly writing specifications and design documents. So till now, I have completed the first draft of main specification of cross-chain relay domain, as well as smart contract skeleton, how they would communicate, Ethereum sides architecture at higher level, as well as the internal relays architecture. I have also put up initial implementation plan. I'm just waiting on Jeremiah and anybody's feedback on that so that I can start working on it. Meanwhile, I am working on brushing up my Ethereum and Substrate knowledge once again. So yeah.
Been trying to keep up with your work there and leaving comments when I can. But I'll come back through and look at the implementation plan here probably today.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to product. Arthur is off enjoying the holidays, so we'll just jump straight to Serge.
Hi. So yeah, as usual, I was mostly working on the Block Explorer, and most of the time I was investigating the performance issues that we had with Squid. And yeah, I did some minor optimizations on the front-end queries and some minor improvements on the back-end. But real like relief came after I have adjusted Postgres config so it fits better the hardware that we use. And yeah, I didn't notice any major issues during the weekend, so I think should be good for now. And I also started working on the issue that Jeremy created regarding extrinsics and events count. So backend PR was already submitted. After that, I will work on the front end. And once it's done, I will resume working on the infrastructure for Squid and archive for Gemini 3B. And after that, we'll resume working on the end-to-end tests.
Great. I mean, it's a huge improvement so far on the performance on the front end. So good work. Natasha.
Yeah, for me also was working on the Block Explorer, and I was working clearing up the empty state and error states for the whole application and making improvements here and there. Also implementing some of the missing copy of hashes in each of the table, and also started working on adding tests to the whole front end. I'm still working on that, trying to get like a good amount of coverage for the test.
Great. Yvonne, how's the SDK?
Yeah, during last week, I was mainly focused on the executor support, which isn't done for now. I'll finish this week. So yeah, our focus was fixing bugs of the SDK and therefore CLI. So there was a bug with false positive logging, which was during the like incorrect like networking support in the SDK. It was fixed. Apart from that, I fall back to like general substrate syncing after the discussions with Nazar and after the substrate upgrade. So apart from that, I also fixed the bug on the CLI side with the like not the bug itself, but rather like showing that the CLI is actually ready and going. So yeah, changing the progress bar of the CLI. Yeah, apart from that, there were some changes to the syncing, and also like today I upgraded to the Gemini 3B and added the change spec. So still discovering like the bugs and everything. Yeah, Farmer like is not working for me yet, but yeah, I'm working on that. So this week I will focus on the executor support and supporting Gemini 3B, I guess.
All right, great. Ozgun.
Hello. So let me elaborate on what Ivan did for CLI. He explained pretty well for the false positive for the farmed block count for the info command. For the CLI, it was progressing really slow because the ticking variable was not set correctly. Ivan realized that. Thanks. Aside from that, initialization does not create parent directories. Bug is fixed. It was submitted by one of our community members, and also we fixed possible breaks on the summary file. These were also fixed last week, but a new release has been made with these fixes. It is version 0.13, and now I'm working on the next version for supporting Gemini 3B. Along with that, also issue templates and contributing and code of conduct will be coming for the CLI repository, and I think this will be generic, so every other repository can copy it from CLI if they wish. That's all.
That's great. All right, moving on to research. Daria.
Hey. So last week I have put together the document about the current state of research so that we can present it at Subspace Builders in the beginning of the year. And I've been mostly working on helping Chen with finding the right parameters for our plots and minimizing the size of commitments that we will have to send to verifiers to be able to prove the audit solution from our plots. And I guess that I've been doing this still this week because I have not yet found a good solution.
Jeremiah, do you have anything to add? Research or general updates?
I'll go last, Jeremy.
Okay.
If you want to go.
Sure. So last week there was a lot of stuff around hiring plans, quite a few interviews. Still continuing to work on the engineering handbook, trying to get our DevOps processes all documented and priorities moving forward, and continue to work on the Gemini 3 engineering roadmap on the protocol side. So thank you, Lu Chang, Ved, and whoever I'm missing there that's been helping me, kind of Shamil, getting that cleaned up. Continue working, I guess, on all of these areas this week. So, and preparing for the Substrate Builders program. Also, thank you everybody for what you've gotten in so far. Look forward to seeing that get cleaned up this week. That's it. Jeremiah.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hey, everybody. Sorry I missed the last couple calls. There's just been a lot going on the last few weeks. Last week, I was mainly focused on onboarding Stefano. He's our new head of product coming from here. He was in the Bay Area with me Monday through Wednesday. We had a really good onboarding session. Don't expect any changes immediately on the product team. He's still got a good bit of onboarding to do. And he'll, of course, have to start attending some meetings and get more familiar with what we're doing. For everyone on the product team, he will be, or he should be reaching out to all of you to set up one-on-ones to learn more about what you're doing and what your contributions and feedback are on particular product initiatives that you're working on. Don't expect anything to really change in terms of our process until early or middle of next month, probably around the second week of January. One of the big initiatives which we have been discussing is to start looking at protocol as a product as well, and kind of apply a product mindset to that. So more to follow. I also worked on onboarding some of our new ecosystem team members, Olga and Pradeep. Olga will be working very closely with everyone on the protocol team to get a better, or sorry, on the engineering team, to get a better understanding of our technical, just the technical nature of our project and what everybody is working on. And she will be working on showcasing much more what you all are doing. Some of you have written blog posts already. Some of you will be writing blog posts. Some of you she'll be reaching out to get a better idea to kind of help facilitate showcasing that work. And then for Deke, he will probably be working with several of you more on the community support side alongside Justin. So these are two team members. All three of these team members you will all be interfacing with more directly going forward. We've also been talking with SR Labs about the next round of our protocol audit. Looks like we're going to be starting our next audit in February. That will probably run for 3 months. That should get us up to speed on everything with V2, and then we'll just work into a continuous audit following that. But we've got about probably 6 weeks until that first audit will start. So this will follow up with the Substrate Builders program. I've been following along with everything with Gemini 3. I'm really happy to see all the progress there and looking forward to next steps. This week for me, I am probably my biggest focus on the engineering front is going to be working with Jen and Daria on refining and finalizing the consensus V2 construction. There's still been a lot of discussion and ideation. We have not settled on a new construction for implementation for Nizar mainly. Some of the other protocol engineers should start working on. Our goal is going to be to come back from the holidays, from the break, with a new V2 construction to start an implementation plan on, or an updated, I should say, V2 construction. I'm also working with Rahul this week on his onboarding as we get more into the specifics of the academic literature on scalability to give him the theoretical background he'll need to move on into implementation and design. I'll be working with Jeremy on feedback for the Substrate Builders program. We do have the call on Thursday to go through that, the dry run with everybody. Also be giving parts and feedback on the specs and the implementation plan going forward. I'll be reaching out to you, Part, to set up a time for us to speak, likely on Wednesday. Also, a lot of time spent planning for the next 2 offsites that we have. So we have the strategic leadership offsite in January, and then we have the all team offsite in February. So I'm working pretty heavily on that with some other people on the leadership team. And I think that's probably it for me for this week.
That's a lot. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and finish for this week. We won't be on next week. Next week, it's a quiet week for the company. So we will see everyone actually maybe in 3 weeks. The following week, I think Monday, the office is closed as well. So, but we'll have updates. So thank you.